The X-Men film series keeps on trucking. Welcome to the Superhero Chronicles. I am AJ Legend, and we're going to be covering X2, X-Men United, the sequel to Bryan Singer's first X-Men movie. Released in the year 2003, pretty much all the returning cast returns from the first movie with a couple of new additions. We get Kelly Hu playing Lady Deathstrike and Brian Cox playing Colonel William Stryker. Uh, I really like X2 a lot. A lot of people consider X2 to be one of the best comic book movies ever made, and I don't. When you watch it, it's kind of hard to see why not because it's a really good movie. I mean, where X Men Two was like a dress rehearsal. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, the first X Men movie was like a pilot to a TV show. X Men Two is where all the good stuff happens. X Men Two is where the character developments happen and where the relationships start to get more expanded. And of course you have a real threat. You know, in Stryker, who is Stryker's grand plan is to use Professor X to eradicate all the mutants all over the world. It's a very like disturbing, Hitler esque type of plan where he wants pretty much the mass extinction of mutants, kind of like how he pretty much Stryker wanted to do his own Holocaust. He's an evil, sadistic son of a bitch. But he has a legitimate reason for doing so. Stryker had a son named Jason. Jason was born a mutant. Stryker, believing that being a mutant was a disease, took his son to Professor X so Professor X can cure the mutation. However, as we all know, mutation is not a disease. It's not something you can cure. It's something that you have to live with. But you can live with it in a way where it's not going to affect you, and that is learning to control it. So Professor X was going to help Jason control his mutant powers, but Stryker, of course, he wasn't having that. But anyway, pretty much Stryker's son Jason resented his father for doing this, and so Jason, who was his power was that of mind control, he would plant ideas into your head and just pretty much fuck you up. So he did that to his parents, and he did it to the point where his mother took a power drill and pretty much drilled her temple to bore out the memories, and of course she killed herself. This, of course, sent Stryker insane. He pretty much lobotomized his own son, and pretty much is using his son on Professor X to start the whole mutant holocaust. It's a very disturbing, sick, diabolical plan, but I like it because Brian Cox is just so good as a Stryker. He's such an awesome villain, and I really wish they didn't kill him all because I would have loved to have seen him come back. There's so much you could have done with Stryker because you also throughout the movie you get Wolverine. It's like you start seeing bits and pieces of how he lost his memory and how he got the adamantium claws. It's revealed that Stryker was the one that did it, and it's also revealed that Wolverine and Stryker also have a prior past, and also have a prior past. And I hope that the movie that uncovers that past is really good and does it the right way. Hmm. I hope that movie is really good and it does it the right way. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Who knows? Maybe the movie's good. Maybe the movie is not that good. Maybe the movie that covers it tries to do a good job, but is ultimately bogged down by nonsense. I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, I love the yeah. So anyway, then that stuff I like. I love the relationships. Of course, the relationship with Magneto and Professor X is always good, and it hits another park. Hits it out of the park, especially. Now, anyway, I'm jumping ahead. So anyway, so Stryker Another thing that makes Stryker so diabolical is that he developed this serum to mind control mutants, and he would take this like I don't know what it was, but anyway, he has a thing that can mind control mutants. He pretty much mind controls Magneto to giving up the X-Men, and that's where Stryker invades the X Mansion, and that's where Wolverine and Stryker do their first exchange, and that's where the hints of what Weapon X was and what. Of course, they don't flat out tell you, but through the flashbacks and the dialogue exchanges that you get, you pretty much get a clear picture of what would happen, of what happened, and I like it. It works for me. Like I don't need to see the whole thing. The bits and pieces of what I'm being seen, it works for me, and my mind can fill in the gaps with the information that was given, and they give you enough. Anyway, of course, the movie does have its negatives. Of course, Professor X and Cyclops are taken out way too early in the movie, and they X serves the fact that Cyclops is a complete non-factor in this movie. He does absolutely nothing. Um, he's not in the. He just does nothing. It's like I can't talk about Cyclops in this movie because there's nothing to talk about. He doesn't do anything because they just he gets written out and you don't see him until like the third act when he's at Alkali Lake and he's attacking the X Men and Jean knocks some sense into him and he's all hunky dory again. So once again, Cyclops gets shafted once the shafting of Cyclops continues in the original X-Men trilogy. It's ridiculous. I'm not a huge Cyclops fan, but I like Cyclops, and I think Cyclops is a very complex character. You can do so much with, but they just didn't do it in these movies, and it's kind of annoying. Because Cyclops has got a good history. He's been through a lot of shit in the books. We're talking about a guy that married the clone of Jean Grey, Madeline Pryor. We're talking about a guy who has self doubts of being a field leader. We're talking about a guy who Professor X is as entrusted to take over the school when he eventually goes. Cyclops he's got a lot of shit on his plate, and I really wish they would give the guy some time to shine. Hopefully, it'll happen one day. Who knows? Um, of course, you get the development of Pyro as he joins the Brotherhood of Mutants, and Pyro has some pretty cool scenes. It actually has one cool scene. It's anyway after the invasion of the X Mansion, they go to Iceman's parents' house, right? And Iceman reveals to his folks, "I'm a mutant." Of course, they don't know how to take it, and Iceman's douchebag brother calls the cops. That's not realistic. If I had mutant powers, I don't think my family members would call the cops. They'd have me do some crazy shit with them. But whatever, it is what it is. Anyway, cops go to the house, and they got them surrounded. And Pyro has this line was like, "You know about those mutants you see on TV? I'm the worst one." And he just lights up and he just starts flame throwing everything. Takes out the two cops, destroys police cars, and it's a fuck. It looks great. The effects in this movie they hold up. They're really good, especially the fire effects. They look pretty cool, and Iceman when he does his little ice effects look pretty cool too. So special effects wise, they're great. Bryan Singer's direction is always good, especially when it comes to the X-Men movies. The man is very good at his camera moments and doing visuals, and he gets the most out of his actors, even if the littlest things. Lady Deathstrike, who has no dialogue, but her and Wolverine have a kick-ass fight at Alka Lake where they just tear each other apart. It's great. It's brief, but it's fun to watch. I like it a lot. So and of course Nightcrawler. Of course, this movie has a big role in this movie. As in the prologue, he attacks the president, but he's also been manipulated by Stryker to do so. But Nightcrawler has a couple of cool moments. We see him over his teleportation and stuff like that. And also, he and Mystique have a little brief exchange, and it's kind of hinted at that maybe there's the relationship going on of the mother son. They don't flat out do it, but it's kind of hinted at. I wish they'd just do it already. It's just kind of annoying to me. Let's see what else. I'm trying to think. think that's most of the major parts. That's most of like the major points of the movie. Of course, you got some little things I thought were funny, where Wolverine, Iceman, Pyro, and Rogue are in Cyclops' car, and like you briefly you fucking in sync on the radio. I thought that was hilarious. Because Pyro's in like a couple of silences. He turns on the radio, it's like bye bye bye. It's like that's pretty cool. Oh man. But yeah, like the movie has like it has a serious, like it has like a serious tone to it, and a lot of people get dispatched, especially at the X Mansion invasion, where Wolverine is just fucking killing everyone. But you get moments of levity. Also, like you get some good character moments with between X Men and Iceman, and they exchange a little dialogue about Rogue and how Bobby's like you see a little bit of jealousy that Bobby's jealous of Rogue, but Logan plays it off as like, don't worry about it, kid. Nothing's gonna happen with me and Rogue. You're fine. Um, the development between Rogue and Jean, between Wolverine and Jean, sorry, is what it is. Like I don't really, like there's really no explanation as to why Logan and is in love with Jean. Apparently, Jean not really. She's sort of into him because he's a rogue, because he's a rogue. But you can tell she clearly like cares for Cyclops more. So it's a forced romance. It just never like forced romances in superhero movies. They don't work for me. They never did. I mean, some of them do, some of them don't. In the case of the X-Men, Jean and Wolverine never worked for me. I'm sorry, Jean and Rogue. Jean and Wolverine never worked for me. Sorry, I'm a little tired. But anyway, so yeah, X-Men 2. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely a must watch. Really good sequel. Action packed. Great acting. Good story. Awesome fucking villain in Stryker, played by Brian Cox. If you haven't seen it, definitely give it a watch. It is worth it, especially for like the X-Men movies. I'm AJ Legend. This has been the Superhero Chronicles, and I'll see you again next time. Later.